Good morning, all of you.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, let's start with the next point. That is the information retrieval system. Now we are discussing this because this is also being considered as one of the most important application of the natural language processing. Some application already yesterday we have discussed. Typical application of the natural language processing. So which are that applications yesterday we have discussed? Applications of the natural language processing.
Language translator,
Hmm.
text summarization,
Okay. Then
voice assistant,
okay. Okay, so these are
Email
the
filtering.
email filtering, chatbot, etc. etc. These are all the different kind of application yesterday we have discussed. Now here I am saying this is also the another application of natural language processing only. That is nothing but the information retrieval system. Let me show you the demonstration so that we can understand this part more easily. Okay, suppose if I suppose here in this search bar, if I type, I hope you can see the change in the screen. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
if I here type the what is the chatbot, you can see here we are getting the number of search results here. Yes or no? We are getting the number of
Yes, sir.
search results. So what do you mean by these search results? Yes, what exactly this is? Here we are trying to find some information, like we want to know what is actually mean by the chatbot, correct? We want the information related with the chatbot. Understood? So what we are doing, so as we think this the search engine Google is a kind of search engine which can provide us the information. So here we type our query. Can we call this as a query? Yes. This has a one problem.
Yes, sir.
This has a one problem which we want about which we want to know what exactly this chatbot is. So here you are typing your query, and when you are searching, the result of searching you are getting these multiple results. Now how these results are coming, from where these results are coming, what exactly process is happening? Yes. Yes, all of you got the question what I am asking? When you type some query here, you are getting these results. How you are getting all these things, from where?
Database.
Database. Where is that database? Why these results come first, then this second, this third, like this? What is the reason behind this?
सर्व्हर साइडला डेटा स्टोअर केलेला असतो.
Yes, means on the server side somewhere. Now server are present on the, okay, Google servers are there in the California, okay, where the all this kind of related data is being stored. And when you type some query here, you are getting the result related with that query. Means you are extracting this information from that database where this information related with the chatbot is stored. Yes or no? Yes, when you are typing some query here, you are getting these results. Means you are extracting some information from that database.
Yes, sir.
Means can you call the can I use the word for the extraction retrieval?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is
Yes, sir.
this is nothing but the information retrieving. This is nothing but what? Information retrieval system. Understood? When you are having the need of some information, now you type your query here in the natural language, that is in the English language, and you are getting the result of that particular query in the similar language one. Understood? So here you are retrieving some needed information from some repository or from some database where this kind of information is being stored, and that is nothing but the called as what? Information retrieval system. The same point we are discussing here, and that is the reason I'm calling information retrieval system is one of the application of what? Natural language processing. Can we call it as an application of the natural language processing? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, because what natural language processing concept says, we want the result from the system in the natural language. In the sense, if you ask the system some question in the English language, we want the answer from the system in the same kind of language. We want some kind of information from the system in the same kind of language, and same result we are getting here. The example that I have shown, we are typing some query and we are getting the results related with that query. So same point I have mentioned here, that is related with the definition of what? Information retrieval system. See the definition and try to apply the definition with the example that we have just discussed. So here I have mentioned the information retrieval is the activity of obtaining relevant information from collection of the information resources. Now, what is the information resources here? In case of the example that I have shown you, information resources are nothing
Database.
but database, various kind
Database.
of database, which we also call as the repositories, where the data is being stored. Understood? So whatever so that activity of retrieving or extracting the relevant information from the information resources, that is called as the information retrieval. Okay. So similar points I have mentioned below. An information retrieval process begins when user enters a query into the system, and queries are nothing but any kind of you can see queries not like just like if you type the question up after that particular statement, that is only the query, that is also the query. But if you just simply type the simple statement also, okay, if you just simply type the simple statement also, that can be also considered as a query only. Suppose if I just mention here key artificial intelligence, so this is being also considered as a query. Okay, this is being also considered as a one particular statement. Okay, and so this is nothing but the concept of what? Information retrieval. Okay, now so similar kind of points I have mentioned here. User queries are matched against the database information. Okay, whatever you type there, that is get matched with the database information, and depending on the what kind of input you give there. Okay, if you give the input in the form of the text, documents, image, audio, map, video, etc., etc. Now, whatever things you are searching, you get the result in the form of these different kind of things. You will get the result in the form of the textual information, audio, mapping, video information, etc., etc. Okay, and as I told you, why we are getting such kind of results. Okay, here you can see. If you type there the artificial intelligence, or previously we have discussed, when you type here the what is chatbot, you are getting the first this particular website, that's the expertsystem.com. You will get the result of that particular website related with the chatbot information at the first level. Understood? You get that result at the first level, then you get the next Wikipedia at the second level, and likewise. Understood? So the meaning of this particular website is being ranked at the first level. What do you mean by this? related with the chartboard, this particular information resource being ranked at the first level. What is the meaning of this? Yes. Another resources like this reviewchat.com, this is being ranked afterwards, then these things are ranked afterwards. What is mean by this? Yes. Why this result has not been shown by the website first at the first level? All of you able to see? Yes. Why this result not shown at the first level? Yes. All of you getting the question?
Yes, sir.
So why this is why why this information resource at this website being ranked first level and others are being ranked afterwards?
सर गुगलचा एक अल्गोरिदम आहे त्याच्या थ्रू होतंय सर ते.
Means does it mean that this particular information resource website is having the most relevant information related with the chatbot?
Yes, sir.
So that is nothing but called as hit ratio. That is called as what? Hit ratio. HIT, hit ratio, means this particular website is having the most relevant information. That's why this is being shown first. Then Wikipedia is being shown afterwards, and then likewise other things are being displayed to us. Understood? So that is the next point. Whatever the query you type there, now based on your query, the things get matched, and according to that, the most information retrieval system compute the numeric score on how well each object in the database match with the query, and according to that, the ranking of the documents or the ranking of the objects carry on with certain value. That value is called as a hit ratio. Okay, and the top ranking objects or the top ranking documents are shown to the user. Okay, top ranking, now on the basis of what the top ranking is being get decided on the basis of what is the relevance of that particular document with your query. If the relevance of your document with that query, if the relevance of your query or the document match with certain information which is stored in the database, then that website or that information resource will shown to you at the first level. Okay, so on the basis of this, that particular level, that which information you will get at the first level, second level, etc., get decided on the basis of relevancy or on the basis of exact matching of your query with that particular certain information which is stored on the that particular information database. Okay, and another, so here technical definition also I have mentioned. The information retrieval may be defined as a software program. It is a kind of software program that deals with the organization, storage, retrieval, and the evaluation of the information from document repository, particularly textual information and other kind of information. So it is just not retrieving the information. Okay, information retrieval system is just not related with the retrieving of information. It is also related with what? Organization. Organization means what? Organization in the sense what? Information retrieval may be defined as a software program that deals with what? Organization, storage, retrieval, evaluation, etc. Now, what do you mean by the organization? Organizing the data means what? Organizing the data in the sense arranging the data in certain form. Yes or no? Representing the data in certain form. Then it also does the functioning of the storage and the evaluation of the information in the sense ranking of the information, ranking of the documents, etc., etc. So this system assists the user, this system helps the users in finding the information they required. And now most of the times we find the required information, most of the time we might not find the required information. So based on that, here the statement is written that this information retrieval system help the users in finding the information they required. but it may not be explicitly written the answer of the particular question. आता आपण सर्च केल्यानंतर प्रत्येक वेळेस आपल्याला एक्झॅक्ट आन्सर मिळतच असं होतं का? Does it happen that we will get the exact result that we are expecting?
No, sir.
No. So whatever information being stored there, accordingly you will get the results. Understood? So this system informs the existence and the location of the documents that might consist of the required information. So information retrieval system shows you where this information is present. Like you see there on the certain website that information is present, location of that website, etc., etc. And this document that satisfy the user requirements. Okay, that particular query, when you type the query and you get the results and you get certain documents as output. So that particular documents will satisfy the user requirements. That documents are referred as what the relevant documents. If that documents are not according to the queries of the user, can you call it as a relevant document? Or can you call it as a relevant information? Yes, if you type some query and you will get the result, but that result is not as you are expected. Understood? So can you call that particular information as a relevant information or the relevant document?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No. So that is the, okay, if you get the result according to your expectation, then we call it as a relevant. If you don't get the result according to your expectation, we cannot call it as a relevant. And accordingly, here you can see this is nothing but the architecture of the information retrieval system is being formed. So in the exam, definitely question used to be there on the IRS. Okay, and definitely you have to refer this diagram in order to explain that particular answer related with the IRS. Now this is the sample architecture. Here you can see user side and the other side, that is the what you can say from where you are going to get that information. So here you can say the query. Now who is going to make the query? Yes, who is going to make that query? If you want to some information, you yourself have to make the query, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the user will make the query from this side. Okay, and then after that you can see the second component here is what? Representation function. Means what? After you make the query, there is a second part, that is the representation function. And then next we have the query representation and the comparison function. Now this is the user side. Understood? And you can call this as a document side, or you can also call it a document subsystem, or we can call this part as a user subsystem. Now here also you can see the document, then document representation function, and then you can see here the indexing component is there. Okay, and now at last these things are get matched, and then you get the hits here, ranking of the documents, and accordingly the result is get displayed to you. Now these components we are going to discuss in details, and here on the basis of that particular architecture, on that architecture you have just seen, on the basis of that architecture we have divided this architecture into the three parts, like user subsystem, then the document subsystem, and then last one is a searching or the retrieval subsystem. Okay, you should keep that diagram in front of your eyes. Okay, all of you just understood that figure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you just keep in front of you this part. Okay, like, or if you have the notebook, you can within some second you can just draw. Okay, these components as architecture. Okay, on the user subsystem are the query, representation, comparison, etc. And on the other side we have the document and representation function and indexing. Okay, so let's see the components one by one. So here we have the first component, that is a user subsystem. Okay, user subsystem means this is the things on the side of the users. Okay, so what the user does when user needs some information, users type some problem there or make some query. Now what is the query? Now query is related with the user, the required, the particular kind of information user is needing. Understood? So this is being referred as a problem or the query. So related to the user task situation, vary in the specificity and the clarity. Understood? So suppose there are the two students, XYZ student and the ABC student. Now they want to know about the artificial intelligence. Okay, understand the situation. Now XYZ students may type his problem in the different way, may ask his query in the different way on that search engine. ABC student may ask his query in the different way. It can happen or not? You are getting the situation. What I'm saying, there are the two students, XYZ student and the ABC student, and they want to know about the what is artificial intelligence. So XYZ student might type his query in the different way, might ask the question in the different way, might make the statement in the different way, and ABC student might ask the query in the different way. It can happen or not?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Yes, sir.
so users way of asking the query may be different in the specification or in the clarity. Okay. So also the results that you are going to get from the information retrieval system also depends on what is the clarity of your query, what is the problem, what kind of question you are asking there, and what is the way of asking the question, what is the way of searching some particular topic on that particular search engine. Okay. So in this first component of the user subsystem, that is the problem and the query, there actual communication between or interaction between the human and the computer start when you type something on that, for example, Google search engine. That time you can say the interaction between the human and computer start. Okay, and that problem or the query, that is the something which goes into the computer system. Okay, and you can also change your query, you can also change your statement. Okay, you can do the adjustment related with the searching, etc., etc. So that is nothing but the first component. That is what? That is nothing but the problem and the query. When the user asks some query or the user asks his problem on the search engine, that is the considered as a first component of the user subsystem. Okay, that is a part of your architecture of the IRS. Now, second component, after a user type the query, the second component is nothing but the representation. Now, what do you mean by this second component? When you type something on the search engine, anything, second component is the representation. Representation means what? Now, does this representation is done from the user side or it is the part of the system?
Part of the system.
Okay, user can make the query, can type their problem, can ask the statement, etc., etc. But representation is in the sense what? What do you mean by this representation? Now, definitely we can't do the representation once. Now, our part is just making the query, asking the questions or the asking some information. Now, does it require that system should need that particular query which is asked by the user in certain form and the certain in certain systematic way? Or will the system will give you the result based on the question you have asked as it is, or do there need, or is there any need, okay, to represent that particular query, problem, statement that user has asked in certain form? Representation is required or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so when you ask something on the Google search engine, okay, in order to get you the good result, that particular query statement has to be represented in certain form. Understood? That particular statement query has to be purified, it has to be analyzed. Understood? It has to be represented in certain form so that user can get the good result so that user can get the expected results. Then which things are comes in the representation then? That is the main part here. Which things are comes under the representation? Representation in the sense what? The query which is being asked by the user or the problem which is being asked by the user, translate, putting that in certain form. Okay, putting that in certain form or putting that in certain format so that user can get the good result. Okay, that is considered as a representation. Now in the representation, different things are comes. Okay, now first thing which comes in the representation is nothing but the creating the document without headers and the tags. What do you mean by this? Creating the documents without headers and the tag. Creating the document with without header and the tag means what? Yes, when you type something on the, suppose on the search engine, okay, when you type something on the search engine like what is this, what is that, etc., etc., now actually it goes to the system in this kind of form. You are getting my point. Now this is what is this, what I have shown this. Yes,
Programs.
related with what? It is some kind of HTML XML code.
Yes, HTML program.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what you are trying to search? You are searching artificial intelligence, correct? What
Yes.
intelligence
Yes.
you are trying to search? Artificial intelligence. Now here your code, here your statement that you want to search, but you can see it is being surrounded by a lot of another kind of things, correct or not?
Yes, sir.
So what the system first thing does in the representation, it eliminate all these part. Which part? These tags, headers, these all the tags. You are getting what I'm trying to say? When system trying to search for this statement, system eliminate all these parts, these tags and headers and all these things. Getting?
Yes, sir.
And that is the first step in the representation, document without header and the tag. So system just have to focus on what? This part. What is being asked by the user. Getting?
Yes, sir.
And that is nothing but the first step in the representation, document without header and the tag. So when you are typing here something for the searching, we don't think about all this part because this is not our role. This is being done by the system itself. And when system searching for something, then it remove all these parts. Okay, and you just go for this part only. So that is the first step. That is the creating the documents without headers and the tags. Okay. Then next thing is also important in the representation. That is the, okay, this is done. Stemming. Doing the stemming related with the documents, related with the something which is asked by the user. Do you know what do you mean by the stemming? Stemming means what? Okay, stemming means nothing but creating the, what we can say, base form or generating the base form of some text or generating the base form of some statement. Okay, here I mentioned stemming, the simplified form of the morphological analysis, which is nothing but the heuristic process of extracting base form of the word by chopping the end of the words. So chopping something is nothing but considered as a stemming. Okay, here what the meaning we have to take, stemming is nothing but what? Creating some simplified form of the words. How? Or creating some base form of the words. How? By chopping the some end of the words. Let me take you the example here. Now, if you want to search on the search engine regarding the laughing, can you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
If you want to search regarding the laughing, now as a part of the representation and in the second step of representation, that is the stemming, what system does? This laughing, these laughs, these laugh, all these kind of words. Now all these kind of words. Now what is the base of all these words? Can tell me what is the original words related with these all the words? What is the original word? Laugh. So what the system will do as a part of the representation? All these kind of words will be get stem into the original words, that is the root word, as a laugh. Means for the purpose of getting your answer related with the statement that you are asked, laughing, system will not search the laughing, system will focus on this word only. You are getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Understood. Even if you search for the laughing, laugh, or the laugh, system will stem all these end parts. System will chop these end parts, and that is called as the stemming, and system will focus on only what? Root words.
Laugh.
Getting? That is nothing but the called as the second part in the representation, that is the stemming. Another things also system has to does, that is nothing but the stop word elimination. What? Stop word elimination. Now let me show you the example here. Suppose here you have asked the question chatbot. Okay. Now suppose the question you ask. Okay, when you ask some question, now in that question, like there used to be the different words. Like if you ask what is an artificial intelligence? Okay. Now, can you tell me what are the stop words in this particular statement? Stop words means the words which are not useful for searching.
Is an.
These are the words which are not going to help for the searching. The word which is going to help for the searching is nothing but what? Artificial intelligence.
Artificial.
So stop words are those high frequency words that are deemed not like to be used for the searching. The words which are not going to help for the searching, these words are referred as a stop words. And the part of the representation also consists of the stop word elimination. Now these stop words don't have any kind of specific meaning. Okay. And all these kind of words comes in the list of the stop list. I have mentioned here the examples also, like a and the, is, of, and etc. etc. All that kind of words which don't have any kind of relevance in the searching, these all the kind of words comes under the category of the stop word, and they are get eliminated. Okay, when the system does the searching for particular query. So these all the things, okay, these two parts comes under the category of the user subsystem of this part, this architecture part that I was shown you. Okay, so this is now last part. Still we'll compare with the we'll see that in the last section of this discussion. Okay, now these things already we have discussed related with the user subsystem. Understood the user subsystem?
Yes, sir.
Now next component that is nothing but the document subsystem. What? Document subsystem. Now in the document subsystem, first part is acquisition. Now what do you mean by the acquisition? Acquisition is what? Now this part is finished for. Now we are on this part. Correct? That is the document subsystem. Now in that acquisition, what do you mean by the acquisition? Acquisition means what?
स्टोअर करून ठेवणं.
स्टोअर करून ठेवणं का स्टोअर केलेलं एक्सट्रॅक्ट करणं?
Yes, sir. Extract करणं.
Acquisition is the word taken from the acquiring something. Acquiring. Okay, the root word of the acquisition is the acquire. Okay, so in the document subsystem, if I if you like to ask me in short what exactly this document subsystem consists, this document subsystem consists of the trying to prepare the document related with the user queries. Understood? Trying to prepare the document related with the user's queries. And in that first component is the acquisition, means selection of the documents and other objects from various web resources. Now mostly the text documents are being shown to you as a result. Understood? But also other kind of documents also you will get the result of your query, like you will get the images, statistics, maps, sounds, videos, etc., etc. Okay. Now these acquisition are being done with the help of the another program, that is the web crawler. You must have heard this term in the web technology. What do you mean by the web crawler? Yes. What is the web crawler? Have you heard this word before, web crawler? Yes or no? Have you heard this word before, web crawler? Yes or no? Yes. Yes or no?
Sir, spider type something.
That is, spider is another word for the web crawler. Now, for what purpose it is used? It is a kind of, it is a software program. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes,
Spider.
sir.
Now, spider in the real life, spider. What the spider has? Hmm?
One type of robot.
Means spider has the ability to collect the different things together. Yes or no? With the help of his hands, legs, etc., etc., he can collect the different things together. So from that, this
Yes, sir.
name given as a web crawler. Okay. Now, uh, now main functionality of web crawler is nothing but the doing the acquisition. In the sense what? Collecting the different documents related with the user's query together. Understood? Whatever the query is being asked by the user related with. Okay, so first component in the document subsystem is what? Acquisition. Means what? What do you mean by the acquisition? Yes. Acquisition means what? System does the acquisition. Means what? An acquisition of what?
The process of extracting, sir.
Extracting what?
Information, sir.
Information related with what?
What we search.
So acquisition is nothing but the acquiring, collecting together, selecting the different kind of information related with the user's query. Now that information can be in the form of the text, images, video, etc., etc. Now system does it with the help of the one program, and that program is nothing but our web crawler.
Web crawler.
Okay, which does what this here I have mentioned. The data are collected with the help of the web crawler as a software program, and web crawler collect that data which is being stored in the certain database. So web crawler are mainly used to create the copy of all the visited pages for later processing by the search engine. So web crawler collect all this kind of data related with the user's query. Okay, and that is nothing but the first component is the document subsystem, that is the acquisition. So acquisition of the documents is being done with the help of the web crawler. Okay. Then comes the representation also here. Now, what is the difference between this representation and the representation in the user subsystem? Yes. In the user subsystem also we have seen the component representation. Here is also
Yes,
in
sir.
the document subsystem also the representation. What do you think? What can be the difference here?
So here can search त्यांनी सर्च करून आणि मग जे रिझल्ट असेल ते रिप्रेझेंट केलेलं आहे.
आता तो युजर सबसिस्टम मध्ये रिप्रेझेंटेशन कसं होतं की रिप्रेझेंटिंग द युजर्स क्वेरी इन such a way that system can understand it properly and system can give you the good results. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Here this representation is what? Preparing the document in such a way that user can understand it, user can see it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So here is same thing I have mentioned. Here the system represent and compare the description of each document with that of the query. Whatever the query is being asked by the user, okay, here the system represent it, compare it with the description of the document and present it to the user with those documents whose description are most closest to the query's description. So whatever the query is being asked by the user, okay, based on that query, related documents are collected together in the first component, that is acquisition, and that acquired documents or the acquired information is being represented in a certain form. Sir, here I have mentioned preparing documents so that it can be presented to the users. So in the second component as a representation on the document subsystem, system prepare or represent the document in such a way that it can be presented to the user, it can be given to the user and user can understand it. Understood? So that is nothing but the representation here, representation in the document subsystem. And lastly here, the file organization. File organization, or it can be also considered as the indexing. Now, what do you mean by the indexing? Here you can see the architecture. Yeah. Here is your acquisition, representation. Now here the indexing. Now, what do you mean by the indexing? Yes, what is mean by the indexing? Yes.
Collection of document. Orderly.
की एका certain order मध्ये we used to when you arrange that document in certain order, that is nothing but we can consider as the indexing. Understood? In certain order, in the sense, now there are the different way of indexing. Now there can be the sequential file organization. Sequential in the sense document by document, one record after another record, like these kind of things, without considering the what is the weightage of certain words, what is the weightage of certain documents, etc., etc. But in case of the information retrieval system, inverted indexing is being utilized. What kind of indexing? Inverted indexing. Now, what do you mean by the inverted indexing? Okay, so file organization or indexing can be done in the two ways, that is the sequential ordering and another is the inverted indexing.
Inverted.
Now, what do you mean by the inverted indexing? Let me show you the example. Now, here you can see, you just see this first statement, you can see this. Okay, now in this statement, can you tell me the weightage of the different words? Now, multiple words are there in that statement. Which word is having the highest weightage?
Chatbot.
Yes. Now here in the yes.
Chatbot.
Now in the inverted indexing, the highest weightage word is being chosen on the basis of how many times that word has repeated in that statement. on the or in that certain document. Now, which is the word which is being repeated number of times in this statement, for example? Yes. Which is the word which is being repeated multiple times?
Oh,
Is the stop word. It doesn't matter.
so
Then
Text.
text. So text is the word which is being considered as the highest weightage word in this statement. Understood? And accordingly, all the different kinds of words within that documents are being checked. Okay, and accordingly indexing is being done. Okay, and with the help of that the certain file organization is being get done. Understood? Okay, and here you can see same thing I mentioned. The primary data structure of most information retrieval system is in the form of the inverted index. We can define the inverted index as a data structure that lists for every word all documents that contain it and frequency of the occurrences in that document. So inverted index is done in which way? With the help of what? Frequency of the occurrences in the document. Means if certain words has been frequently occurred in that document in certain statement, that certain statement will get the first ranking. You are getting my point? Frequency of occurrence means what? Yes, what do you mean by the frequency of occurrence? Yes, what do you mean by the frequency of occurrence?
How many times this word are
How many
repeated?
times certain word has occurred. Understood? And so the inverted index is being done on the basis of what? On the basis of frequency of the occurrence of certain words in the that particular document. So
Document.
accordingly the indexing of all the kind of document is being done. Okay, now to do the indexing there can be the one way sequential ordering where we don't consider any system don't consider any weightage of the word. Okay, sequentially, you know, the in the linear way. But in the inverted index, term by term, list of the records under each term is being considered based on the how many times certain words or certain term has occurred in that particular document. And with the help of that, heat ratio is being calculated. Okay, according to that, heat ratio is being calculated and the result is being presented to the user. Okay, so that is the last part in the document subsystem, that is nothing but the file organization or the indexing arrangement of the document in certain particular order. Okay, and for that inverted indexing is being utilized. And last part is nothing but what? That is the retrieving. Okay, searching and the retrieving, that is nothing but the matching. What? Process of matching and the comparing, process of matching and comparing, and lastly showing the result in certain order. Now rank by relevance or last in first out, in certain order you will get the results in front of you, whatever the things you are searching. Okay, so lastly is the searching or the comparing or the retrieval subsystem where process of matching and the comparing happens. What documents in the file match, that query is started. So query is stated. So initially whatever the query you have mentioned there, with that query exact matching occurs. Okay, and according to your matching, the certain retrieval process happens. Retrieving object means certain documents get retrieved and result is shown to you. So that is the last component, which is nothing but what? Matching and the comparing. The same part we can see in the architecture also here. Yeah, here you can see the last part here, comparison function. Okay, and accordingly in comparison function, those documents which is having the highest hit ratio, those documents which is having the highest ranking, that is presented to the user. Here you can see. Yes, all of you can see it.
Yes, sir.
So this is nothing but whole our information retrieval system. So 10 marks question, number of times being asked related with the information retrieval system. Now instead of directly asking the question being also asked in the some subtopic of this whole topic that we have discussed. Subtopic in the sense, question might is being also asked in explain the representation component of the user subsystem in the in the information retrieval system. That time you have to explain that part with the help of such kind of examples. See how the representation happens on the user subsystem, like representing the document without headers and the tags, then the stemming, stopword elimination. On these subtopics, the 2 marks note can also be asked. What do you mean by the stemming? What do you mean by the stopword elimination? What do you mean by the inverted indexing? How the inverted indexing is get done, etc., etc. Okay, so sub question, number of sub questions are also possible related with this topic. Understood?
Yes, sir.
How the inverted indexing is done? Yes. What is the logic behind the doing inverted indexing? Yes. What example? I have shown you the example how the inverted indexing is done. Are you getting the question? Yes. Are you getting the question what I am asking?
Yes, sir.
So how the inverted indexing is done? What is the logic behind the inverted indexing?
It depends on occurrence of the document or word.
Occurrence of the
Document.
certain words within a documents.
Document.
Occurrence in the
Yes.
sense we can call it as a weightage of certain words. Now how the weightage is get
Yes.
decided की तो पर्टिक्युलर वर्ड त्या स्टेटमेंट मध्ये किंवा त्या डॉक्युमेंट मध्ये किती वेळेस रिपीट झाला. If it is repeated number
Yes.
of times, then that particular word is having the
Highest.
highest weightage, and it the indexing will be done of that document according to that weightage only. Okay. So this is all the parts. So we have discussed these architecture in the 3 parts, that is user subsystem, then document subsystem, and lastly the comparison and the matching, and you will get the final result. Okay. So that's it from this lecture. We will see the remaining part next time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.